The 13th competency of the pedagogy and professional responsibilities for those who are seeking to become middle or high school teachers in Texas relates to the responsibility of teachers to fulfill professional, legal, and ethical responsibilities and have a basic knowledge of how the Texas educational system is structured. Professional and ethical conduct is an expectation of those who choose to become teachers. In our guidelines, we examine several situations that teachers might find themselves in when they begin working with older students and how they can try to make these situations follow those laws and regulations. The first instance that we will explore is that of the privacy of the information of the students and their families. According to FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, the rights of all students and their families must be understood and respected. Teachers, even in middle and high school, must be extremely cautious about releasing a student for whom they are responsible to anyone. Also important is that a student at the age of 17 also has access to their files and is able to take himself out of school, and it is up to the student and the teacher's discretion to decide whether that would be a good idea or not. So let's see a scenario of what would be a problem with releasing a student. And I'm working. Hello! I would like to withdraw a student. Please, I'm his dear Auntie Mathilde, yes. Let me look and see if you're in the system. Oh, yes, thank you so much. Ma'am, your name is not listed here. Can I see some ID? Oh, yes, let me look for it. Let me reach in here. I don't think this is right. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I can't release the student to you. Oh, well, that's a shame. The next instance that we'll be exploring is that of corporal punishment. Corporal punishment is a very controversial topic, and in some schools it is permitted, while in others it is not. So if you ever find yourself in this situation, consider your options. Ruben, you are not doing very well in my class.
Well, I don't care, this is dumb.
How could you? This is the second time this week. How could you? Stop! Before you hit a student, you should consider your school and district regulations. Also consider that there should be appropriate documentation that goes along with this kind of discipline. When you hit a student or decide to use corporal punishment, if it is allowed, you should always consider age, gender, size, physical condition, and appropriate parts of the body when corporal punishment is considered. Overall, since it is a topic that is often frowned upon, you should never use this unless it is your last resort. And if it is allowed, well then. But also consider that if it's not, it could be considered physical abuse, and you could end up in a lot of trouble with the law. Dealing with teenagers will often put teachers in a situation where they might be verbally assaulted by an aggravated student. Should this occur, the teacher should ask for help from another teacher or ask a student that is not involved in the confrontation to go look for someone to assist them. Also, it is important to never start using street language, if you will, or bad words with a student with which you are having a verbal assault with. So, if you are in such a situation, never do this. Teachers of middle school and high school might at times find themselves in situations where they have to search through students' property. It is important to always have the proper assistance and to never be aggressive towards the students. If ever there is an instance where someone is calling for a strip search, it is important for teachers not to participate in this sort of behavior and to report it to the appropriate authorities.
I suspect you have things that are harmful to yourself and or others.
You can't look through my stuff!
Too late, I'm already doing it.
A search such as this might be considered too aggressive, so always keep in mind the guidelines that your school has for such a procedure. Another very controversial instance that teachers may fall into is that of sexual harassment. This might be between teachers and students, or students with other students. If peer harassment rises to the level of child abuse, failure to report such abuse to Child Protective Services may put a teacher in legal and employment jeopardy. You might notice instances in which one student will attack another or force themselves upon another. It is also important, however, to, when thinking of sexual harassment, not to only think that it can happen to girls. At times, it is also boys who are sexually harassed by females. Teachers must maintain at all times professional yet friendly, supportive relationships with their students. Students are protected by law in terms of having access to equal educational opportunities in schools. This means that teachers cannot refuse to allow students to participate in any school program or activity due to race, religion, gender, national origin, or disability, nor can they require students to participate in any certain activity that conflicts with their religious beliefs.
And this X will tackle this circle and...
Coach, I am so ready to be on the team. We're gonna win!
What?
And then we're gonna score, and we're gonna win, and everybody's gonna be happy, and...
Wait, this is how it goes.
What?
There's no girl X's here at all. Or girl circles.
No. This kind of instance is illegal, and a teacher or coach or anybody can get in trouble for such action. So keep that in mind. The last instance that we will explore is that of negligence. If a teacher suspects that a student is being physically, sexually, or morally abused, they are required by law to report that sort of behavior that they are suspecting. Teachers should know that they are protected by the law if they make such an accusation and it comes to nothing, so long that it is not done in a malicious way. Last week he told me a pony hit him. And I don't know. I don't know if I should believe him. This week he's telling me that a ninja came and roundhouse kicked him to the face. Oh well. It is also considered negligence for a teacher to allow a student to be exposed to dangerous situations. Keep the following tips in mind. Make a reasonable attempt to anticipate dangerous situations. Provide proper supervision. Take precautions. Establish rules. And give warnings to minimize the chance of students getting hurt. Always remember that society expects teachers to take reasonable care in protecting students from whom they are responsible. Hopefully you can keep some of these tips that we mentioned in the video in mind. And remember, know the Texas laws that protect you and your students. Know your schools and district's guidelines. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you don't know a certain regulation. Keep updated and use the guidelines to make a safe learning environment for your students. Thank you.